With Los Angeles winning the bid to host the 2028 Summer Olympics, will the United States start eyeing other Olympic bids? Two-time Olympic host Lake Placid is looking to bring international games back to the Adirondacks in the next few years. Could that lead to a bid to host the Winter Games for a third time? Our Jack LaDuke has more.
It has been more than 4 decades that Lake Placid decided to seek the 1980 Winter Olympics and won the gold. They had hosted the 1932 Games at the height of the Depression. It took them nearly 50 years to pay off that debt. However, in 1980, they had financial help from the federal and state governments. That gave the small village the ability to rebuild its fading sports venues for the upcoming 1980 Winter Games. Continued upkeep of the venues has allowed them to stage annual world-class events, establishing them as a reliable source for major winter contests. They are now bidding on the World University Games, or FISU. That event is almost as big as an Olympics.
Our bid has to be completed at the end of this year. Then they send an official evaluation team here next January. And at their executive committee meeting in March in Lausanne, they will make a determination whether or not we will be the site for the 23 World University Winter Games.
36 individuals from the World Union of Olympic Cities were in Lake Placid last week after meeting in Canada.
The annual meeting of that organization was held in Montreal this year, and we invited them down to Lake Placid to get a feel for our Olympic legacy, our venues, and our citizens' commitment to sport and the Olympic Games.
The group was experienced in staging an Olympics and appreciated what the small village has done with their after use of the venues.
Our biggest partner and our biggest sponsor is New York State, and we have a responsibility to make sure that Albany knows where we're headed, and we have a tremendous economic impact on the North Country, which continues to excite people about the investment into our venues.
The Olympic Cities delegation meets with the powerful International Olympic Committee and makes recommendations to them.
There's been a number of issues that we have jointly brought to the table to the IOC, and the IOC has acted favorably upon it.
As Lake Placid lines up bigger and more prestigious events, could they be eyeballing a third Winter Olympics? Well, officials here are reluctant to say that, only saying that they want to do as good a job as they can on the upcoming events they have planned.
Our efforts right now are on the World University Winter Games, which is similar in size to the Olympic Games, but much more manageable. We're looking at 2023 for that organization. If we are successful in that and we pull those games off successfully, who knows where we go from there.
There has been much talk of a cross-border Olympics, sharing venues with Montreal, 110 miles away. Indoor ice rinks would be used there, with Lake Placid hosting downhill skiing, ski jumping, bobsled, luge, and skeleton races in Lake Placid. The use of existing facilities would be a huge cost saving for both countries. Reusing former facilities has been gaining favor in Olympic circles.
Well, we had one lady from the IOC who was very excited about it, and she really wants to look more into who we are and how we continue to develop our venues as a tool to communicate with other Olympic sites.
Many visitors from the Olympic Cities organization commented on the strong Olympic spirit in this Adirondack community. Lake Placid officials feel that it is that same spirit that will fuel the engine that drives them forward. For Mountain Lake Journal, I'm Jack LaDuke in Lake Placid.